I had a friend ask me how to cut holes in Blender as well as how I make my pipes. So I'm going to do a little tutorial on such. I'm going to delete that and I'll just use the cube. Select it in edit mode. I use Blender 2.8. It's just what works good for me. And in order to cut my holes is what I do is I would add a mesh cylinder, and now you can see it there. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees. Shrink it down 50%. Alright. I'm going to make it just a little bit longer. And as you can see, it's passing through it. So you want to select your cube. Come over here to add a modifier. Boolean. And you see it's on difference. You just select the cylinder that you put through it that you're trying to cut the hole in, and see, I'll come up here now and there's the perfect hole, and you would apply it and it's there. But if you wanted it changed a little bit, maybe you only wanted it halfway through, just pull it up. And as you see now, it's just an indentation. And what that would work really good with is I want to add another mesh. I'll add a sphere. Like if you was making a light bar or anything really. I've seen in another video that this is how they was doing it. Alright, and now see, I got the sphere. I'm still selected on the cylinder. I'm just going to cancel that out. Grab that. Grab the sphere. And now it's putting the sphere in it. And you can also come here and cause it to intersect. As you see, now it just leaves the only piece to where the sphere met the cube, and that's the only piece that would be left. Or you can come in here and go to union, which would join them together. Go into the wireframe, and as you see, it cut all the extra sphere nodes out of it, so it would be good and clear, or less polys rather. But for what you wanted difference, and as you see, it just flipped it over. And you said you wanted to cut a hole in something. And as you see, I can slide the cube just the same. So I'll do that. Now you can see it's passed all the way through. Apply it. Then I'll come back in, and there it is. A perfect hole. Alright. And that's about as easy as it gets when it comes to cutting a hole or cutting a shape into stuff. Now for the pipes, I'm going to add a mesh. I'm going to add a plane. I'm going to select it. And now, well, I'm just going to select half of it. And then I'm going to delete those vertices so it only leaves these two. And then I'm just going to grab one of those. And here you would line it up on whatever you're trying to center up. If you're running a roll cage or anything like that, just wherever you wanted to start from, leave it like right here off of whatever it is. You got to give this room to expand. It's going to expand from the middle out, as you will see. But what you would do, well, actually, I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to add I've never even attempted this, but it'll give you an idea of what I'm referring to. So there's the monkey head. As you can see, I'm going to take this little 2 nodes, need to spin them 90 degrees. Alright, now what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and spin them 90 degrees that way as well. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to run a pipe just right over the monkey's head. And as you can see here, what I would want is that to come in a little closer, that to be a little closer, something like this. Alright, and then you would extrude the node. Obviously you don't want it to extrude that way, so I'm just going to zero out the extrude, and I'm going to bring it straight up, stop it at this point or somewhere close, extrude again, zero it out, we'll bring it up, bring it over, get it somewhere close like that. Extrude again. We'll bring it over. Extrude again. Zero it back out. Move it to where I want it. Extrude. And ultimately, you would just continue to do this as much as you want to get where you want it. Now, I'm going to close out the monkey for a minute. Select all of those. Then I'm going to come into vertices, I believe, and I'm going to bevel them. And as you see, it's just kind of rounding it off a little bit more. If you want to round it off a little bit, just add more segments to it. And as you can see right here, those two nodes are very close. So when you're doing it, you can see here, I've done it too much. You just have to watch your nodes. You want it round, but you can't make sure, you got to make sure that they don't pass each other, because then that'll leave blowouts in your lines or in your pipe and won't be right. But that's close. And like you said, or like I said, you can smooth out your edges a little bit more by just raising that up more and more. Alright, and that's that part. And then you just select this in object mode. Then you hit F3. That'll pull up the search window. Type in convert. It says convert to. Hit that. You want to curve from mesh/text. And as you see now, it's a curve. So I'm going to come down here to the little curve icon that's now here. Geometry. And then what you do is on this depth, just like before, and now you just expand your depth. And you can expand it as much or as little as you want. In this case, I'm going to bring the monkey back up. And just barely make it miss it. Alright. Get it kind of close, but not touching, or at least in this application. And now you can see the pipe is still a little blocky. The resolution, as you see, the more I up it, the smoother it'll get. It ups the polys greatly, but depending on how smooth you want the pipe to be, that's all you have to do, is do the resolution. And I believe that's it. I haven't really messed with the bevel start or the end too much. And then now that that's done, there's my pipe. What I would do is select it again, hit F3. The convert should still already be there. And now I'm going to go back to a mesh from the curve. And now it's just like it was in the beginning. Back to a mesh. And just a little bit extra. If you don't want a hole here and you have an open-ended pipe and you wanted to close it up, you just come here, select those nodes, all of them, come up to vertices, new edge, face from vertices, and that fills in the hole. And that would be the same way if you cut a hole and for some reason you couldn't undo it or step back far enough, or maybe you've done a couple other things and you realized you cut too much out. You can always go through, and as long as the nodes are somewhat in a line, or they don't even have to somewhat be in a line, you just, if you can grab them all and you want it to close off. See, like right here, I'm just going to grab half of them. Well, now you have half of it. And then over here you got this. Well, it's going to be easier to do that. This one. So I'm going to step back. Do away with that for a second. Or you go into, close it back up with a new edge face from vertices. Close it up. I'm going to hit P, separate the selection. Grab this, select the new little circle. Maybe you just wanted it to inset just a little bit. I changed the bevel on it just a little, but and then you could do it that way. And that is how you make pipes and cut holes in objects in Blender 2.8. Hope that helps.